Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are going to get started with a draft here shortly as the losing team, Ragnarok, has chosen red side for game number 2.
No,
Will the side selection help, do you think? Or is this,
they chose blue side.
did I say red side? They've chosen blue side. Yes, they've
You did
chosen the
say
swap
red side.
sides. OCL After Dark Before
Okay.
Dark is just as bad as OCL After Dark, apparently.
Wow, I hate that entire sentence. We are jumping right into the picks and bans. Aurelion Sol, still a ban. Again, not a fan.
Yeah, I don't think it's entirely necessary. I think the Star Dragon is able to be dealt with, but they want it off the table, so off the table it will stay.
All right. Speaking of off the table, do you think? Oh, well, there's the Zed. I was going to say, do you think there's going to be any significant draft adjustments
The
for
Zed?
Ragnarok going into this game 3? Do you think they're going to maybe look to pick something that doesn't get, you know, turbo fisted and lane by Jax?
Yeah, I think that's step one, is not blind into something abusable. Um, Looking back on it, the Zed ban I do understand here, because the Zed is what really accelerated T3 into the end game that they had. The Zed being unlocked to roam across the map, pick up 11 kills instantly. It didn't matter that it became irrelevant after that because it got the rest of his team ahead. I like the Wukong pick here. I think that's a little bit more control that Ragnarok lacked. I think having that long-term zone control that's available with the Cyclone might help kind of counteract some of the we're just going to run at your faces and you cannot stop us draft that T3 chose last game. And it looks
Yeah,
like
and
they're
it does
opting back
offer
into.
interesting. I don't quite like the Lux Caitlyn blind into a Wukong.
Yeah, that's very aggressive. It's not surprising. When it gets picked, red 1-2 is the place it normally gets picked, to be fair. But
Yeah.
completely blind like this gives Ragnarok so many options to take it on with. The Varus is available, any kind of hard
Are we
engage would be
going?
available, enchanters.
Do you think they have the faith and the hands to run at them on Draven Callista?
Oh, as much as I would like to see it, I don't think that's a reasonable ask.
No, I also don't think it's a reasonable ask because obviously we've seen it happen in the LCK. A certain little team that some of you might recognize called T1
Ziggs
has done that
Seraphine.
once or twice upon
Oof.
a time. That I really don't like.
No,
Uh,
sir. No, sir.
I this really ought to be a one or the other scenario, not a both.
Okay, I'll give it this. It's trying to beat the Caitlyn Lux lane at its own game. It's saying, you want to poke us, we will poke you back harder,
I
better, and with a heal. I don't like it, though.
I won't lie. It did not even enter my mind that this could have been the duo lane. Because if this is the duo lane, I feel you are so doomed. Because Caitlyn just goes D shield, or actually, that's not even true. She goes longsword, 3 pot, takes the MR rune, takes resolve secondary, and
Take
what
second
do you
wind and
do?
bone plating, and you cry.
You you poke in lane, and then she heals for 90% of what you poked in the span of 10 seconds. It it's a very strange choice, I feel. I definitely am hoping that we're going to see the Ziggs divorced from the Seraphine, one or the other going into the middle lane. But I'm not sure that that really fixes the problem of having picked the Ziggs and Seraphine, because realistically, right, from a gold income perspective, they're both champions that are going to be wanting to build Leandries. Seraphine obviously is going to want to build a lot more ability haste, pump out a lot of abilities for the damage. Zig's going to be focused more on the raw AP and just chunking on the odd hits that do connect.
So you think this is a damage-focused Seraphine? You don't think there's any chance that we see a Moonstone here?
I feel like Moonstone Seraphine really isn't it right now. Maybe I'm wrong. Wait, I can check the stats to see how wrong I am live. Let's see. Yuda GG Seraphine. All
Either
right,
way.
and Moonstone has high win rate. Maybe I'm wrong.
Okay,
Olaf,
okay.
okay, yeah, it's a Moonstone. It's a Moonstone angle if you build or if you pick champions that it actually works for. Wukong, not so much. Olaf, very much.
Yeah, Olaf into Gangplank, though. That's...
I think it's Wukong. Oh wait, but it's not going to be Wukong top because Olaf jungle kind of sucks.
It works, but not well. And Zoe to round out the
Hmm.
comp, so that is a Zig Seraphine bot
Triple
lane.
AP? Triple AP. You're hinging your entire game on an Olaf top lane into a gangplank
A
with a
counterpoint.
Xin Zhao who's more than happy to chain gank him.
Counterpoint, we had
What?
4 AD last game, so it's not as bad.
Mm, isn't it?
Folks, we are breaking Zarathai. We'll be back in just a couple of moments once he has stopped breaking. Um, all jokes aside,
I
you're
mean,
right. I don't love the Ziggs APC pick here. If you're going to go heavy AP in the mid lane, like fine, there's nothing that you could safely blind here since you banned away the Tristana in round 2. But really, like if you're going to do this, pick something like the Galio where you can just be a support champ anyway and you can let the Olaf and the Wukong run free. But
I just, I feel
oh,
like if you pick Gala, you end up way too melee sided, and you're trying to front load your fights into just like flash on them territory. And I don't think you ever want to have to be in just flash on your. You don't want to be in a
sure.
scenario where your only recourse into a Xin Zhao, a Gangplank, a Caitlyn, and a Lux.
Okay,
It's
okay,
just
okay.
flash on them, bro.
Oh, okay. But the point was more if you're going APC bot lane, you don't pick another
Yeah,
Giga APC mid lane. Like it
yeah.
doesn't.
I it could work, right? Theoretically, like let's list the champions this can work with. Jace top lane, uh, maybe a Yasuo or a Yone top lane. Something that's going to just have the ability to completely pop off and take over the entire physical damage aspect that your team needs. But Olaf,
It's possible, okay? And
it's
Olaf
possible.
can,
I'm not
with
gonna
Undertows, do it,
discount that.
but it's and into a Gangplank. Gangplank is abusable early, so there is a chance that Olaf can get ahead, but it'll hinge so heavily on where the jungle pressure comes. Because if Xin Zhao comes up to gank early and Olaf dies once or twice, suddenly Gangplank is in complete control of that lane, and you're relying on the
I
Wukong.
mean, I'm going to be completely honest with you. How I predict this to happen is, or how I would imagine this to happen is that it doesn't really matter if the Xin Zhao, or sorry, if the Olaf dies once or twice from Xin Zhao ganking. It just matters that Xin Zhao shows presence top lane so that Wukong can't gank and put Gangplank behind. It doesn't like this isn't an issue of Olaf getting behind. This is an issue of Olaf not getting ahead.
Yeah, fair. I suppose this isn't a two sides of the coin thing. This could perfectly balance on its edge, and that's still in favor of T3.
Yeah, I definitely favor T3's draft a lot more. I feel like we're going to have to see the Wukong just go, red, blue, Gromp and sit top lane for a minute and try to, or, I don't even know how you do that because it feels like the Olaf will telegraph so clearly what is trying to happen in a gank, right?
Yeah, I mean it's not hard to predict. in Olaf, he throws an axe and starts running at you, and if he throws the axe super far, it means he wants to chase.
Yeah, if
Looks
he
like we
throws
are
the
having some
axe
technical
all the
issues,
way
by the
through
way.
you.
Yeah, we are having some technical issues, by the way, getting into game, so we'll be just a couple of minutes extra before the game gets started. Just wanted to give you guys an update here, so you're not wondering why we're sitting in intermission for 5 minutes.
Yeah. I feel like, if you're GP, you just put one barrel in the bush. If Olaf pushes Ghost, you chain the barrel at Olaf, Q, and walk away.
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
that's fair. And
this isn't
pre-6, that's going to work 100% of the time.
yeah, and this isn't a lane GP wants to even push in. He wants to be able to sit back, relax, farm, push Q on Olaf for the oh my gosh, first strike? Yeah, first strike
Yes.
procs. Because this is almost certainly a first strike angle, right? I
Oh,
mean, you're going
absolutely.
GP. You may as well just go whole hog GP.
Yeah, just give up on the first 50 minutes of the game. It doesn't exist.
Yeah, I mean, if it was, there's some champions where, as much as I hate Grasp of the Undying on GP, sure, it's probably a better option than First Strike into some champions. Like, it's probably better than First Strike into Jace.
Yeah.
But that's only for lanes still. Like, I don't know. I just think First Strike is so much better for the game, right? Your lane might suffer a little bit. But if you're able to deal an extra, or if you get an extra 500 gold at 20 minutes on GP of all champions who's already generating extra gold from parlay,
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty significant. It adds up quick.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's so bad that they had to remove Gangplank from objective bounty calculations because of how much gold he can generate just passively.
Wait, actually, that's hilarious.
Okay, not entirely. They've removed Parlay, and I may have touched First Strike as well because Riot Spaghetti Code.
See, the issue I take with that is that gold should absolutely be counted for objective bounties because GP being ahead is insane. It's
Yeah.
just, I don't know. It is a crazy champion when he gets rolling, and he certainly does not have a weak early game. I mean, you know, uh, what is his passive at level 1 now? 90 true damage. He
He has an
trades
Ignite on
even
20
with
seconds, yeah.
Ignite with one passive. Here, I'll even
It's
look up the specific numbers. Gangplank. Where's the wiki? Did I click the right wiki? I did not. Why are there two wikis now? Okay, sorry. 55 damage, level 1. Plus 100% bonus AD, which he won't have any. So,
but still.
55 damage, level 1. That's a little over 60% of Ignite's damage at level 1 with a resettable cooldown because you take barrels level 1.
It's
A little
reasonable.
insane. Reasonable?
Very reasonable. 100% reasonable.
100% reasonable. Okay. Okay.
I I don't hate Gangplank at all. I don't hate that he has 40% armor shred on his barrels. I don't hate that I can build full tank on the tankiest champions in the game and still get two shot by him, even if he only has an item and a half. I
Are
don't
you
hate the
telling me you
champion at
don't
all.
like GP? Are you telling me you don't like GP walking up to you, autoing you once for 400 true damage on his passive
Mm-hmm.
late game?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Hey,
telling you. That's perfectly fine. That's healthy. That's reasonable for the game
remember?
state.
remember when GP the rework first released after he came back from, or no, before he came back from the dead, I guess. Uh, remember when his barrels had 70% armor penetration,
Oh yes, I
and they
remember.
stayed like that for a long time?
I I remember. It haunts my nightmares.
I was a GP main then. I got Mastery 7 GP.
For those of you who aren't looking at the stream like Zarathai, I am staring dead-eyed into the camera because this is bringing back horrifying memories for me.
Traumatic memories.
I am a
What,
tank main. What do you want me to do?
you don't like 70% armor penetration GP or 8% true damage per vital proc Fiora?
See, Fiora I can deal
Okay,
with.
how about 36% armor penetration in the span of 0.5 seconds, Riven, rolling all over your face? I
You
played
know,
all 3 of those champions in Season 5, so...
I'm gonna be real with you. I have not seen a
Yep.
Riven in 3 seasons. I have not played into a Riven in 3 seasons.
Is Riven your ban?
No, I banned Camille.
Yeah, I actually noticed that. I so
Huh.
rarely see Riven nowadays.
I don't know why that didn't occur to me that I haven't seen a Riven in so long. It's
I
not
think
like
the
she's bad. Huh.
yeah, she's definitely had some rough spots more recently. Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway,
She's been outshined by a fair few champs. So it seems like this delay is going to take a long time.
yeah, we're going to step aside for a few minutes here. For those of you who did not hear, we are having some technical issues with one of the players here whose client is apparently having some serious issues. We're trying to get him fixed, and we will be back in just a few minutes, so don't go anywhere. Well, we have a bit of a situation on our hands. You can wrong me right, got banned after his client disconnected uh, going into the game. So Ragnarok has chosen to add in a substitute here quickly. That's going to be No Regard playing in the bot lane, and due to that, the admins have made the decision that we need to redraft. So we're taking this from the top here, Zarathai. It's always fun at OCL After Dark.
It is always spicy in OCL After Dark. It's never going to not be spicy in OCL After Dark, evidently, based on a sample size of 2 and a 100% success rate. We do see the Wukong as the final ban from top 3, Ragnarok having picked it in the draft,
O-
that we just chucked into the garbage bin, pretend it doesn't exist anymore.
Olaf also
Gangplank,
taken away there. That's an important change. So that's why the Gangplank was picked up here first for Nub.
do we are we living in some parallel universe where Olaf is Gangplank's only counter, or what's happening here? Am I missing something?
I wonder if this is a power play from Ragnarok to say, this is what you wanted to play. We don't want you to be able to draft the same thing. We're going to take it instead. We're confident in Nub's ability to play it just well enough to do it for us.
I have a counterpoint. What if it's Elliot playing it?
That is entirely possible. You have me there.
I actually I actually do enjoy seeing some Gangplank mid. I'm a bit of a mid plank enjoyer. Uh yeah, Lux Caitlyn picked up for top 3. Nothing surprising there. Okay, Maokai Nautilus picked up for Ragnarok.
Okay, spicy question.
I
What if this Gangplank is going to no regard in the bot lane?
I'm sorry. What if Gangplank is what?
Gangplank ADC going to no regard in the bot lane. Gangplank Nautilus full aggro lane.
I think you are out of your gourd and maybe need to lay off of the special casting juice.
Hey, you said that about the
I know this
Seraphine
is
Ziggs lane
OCL
too.
After Dark.
You said that about the Ziggs Seraphine too, and I was right about that.
You were right about that. I just really hope you're not right about this one. I don't think Gangplank has a whole lot of upside into Caitlyn Lux. Oh, no, he's got one upside, all right? You can orange the light binding, okay?
Yeah, you can't land the trap
Fantastic.
combo. Easy. 100% win rate.
Okay, you had me in the first little bit of what you said there. The second little bit of what you said there, you're kind of losing me.
Either way, the Darius picked up to round out the draft for top 3. Mid laners and bot laners banned aplenty the Xin Zhao off the table.
You want to know something?
Yeah, what you got?
I think if Nub takes the GP and just runs into the bush before Darius gets there, I think Nub can actually beat Darius in a level 1 fight if he starts barrel and takes Ignite. It
Ignite,
would be
trial by fire, barrel reset, trial
comical.
by fire. I can see
Yeah,
it just because of how long it takes to get the 5 stacks at level 1. It wouldn't be easy, and it would
yeah,
be very close.
yeah. I To be clear, this is not a suggestion. GP without teleport is a terrible decision. Unless you're playing solo queue, in which case, by all means, ignite your way to the top lane and don't let your memes be dreams.
In solo
It's
queue,
the
teleport is not a real summoner spell.
Oh, true. I had neglected to consider that. Ezreal, the marksman of choice into Caitlyn Lux. I mean, I would be fine with the Ezreal pick if it was paired with a support that maybe wasn't 90% geared towards engaging on the enemy champions and beating them to death instantaneously. But unfortunately, his support is Nautilus, who is about doing that, yeah.
I will say, the Nautilus at least has the dredge line, so it can get away from the light bindings and the traps, and will be valuable in the
I've
late game trying to assassinate Lux Caitlyn. I don't love it,
Right, but
but it
no,
could
but
be worse. It could be Alistair.
no, like, I get what you're saying, right? I understand. The words make sense to me. I just feel like the moment you're, considering your upsize to Nautilus starting with, well, he can dredge line out of the light binding. You kind of lost me a little bit on the upside.
I think
And
the
yeah,
point of the
look,
Nautilus pick is more for the team fight because you're layering Mega CC, the depth
no,
charge,
no,
the
listen,
Maokai, the Gangplank. I
absolutely,
if
absolutely.
if they make it to level
But
11 without dying, I like it.
not even that. But here's the big issue, right? What does Nautilus do in a team fight? What is Nautilus's function as a champion for a team? Is it to CC multiple opponents? Is it to make picks? Or is it to push the R button on one big champion and then prevent them from playing the game? Maybe I have the wrong take here, but I've kind of only seen Nautilus into the Zeri. Or
I
when specifically paired with the Aphelios for actual lane dominance.
okay. I mean, I think that's a bit
And
player
uh,
dependent, perhaps.
sure, but like, let's run down the list of champions on top 3 who want to be Nautilus ulted in the face by Ragnarok. You have Lux sometimes if Lux is, not super far behind. Caitlyn, obviously, if she is not completely incompetent. Darius, you don't want to push the R button on him.
Doesn't
So
do anything,
chances
yeah.
are your ult is not going to hit him regardless. Jarvan is a non factor. Yasuo, I just realized top 3 picked Yasuo with a grand total of 2 ways to create knockups, and one of them is a very short one.
To be fair,
Uh,
a 4-man apprehend into a last breath would be beautiful.
oh, it would be the best. I would die happy.
Here's the other thing about top three's draft. What's their damage spread?
Well, it looks like, let's take this top to bottom. You have a little bit of AP. Then you have physical damage with a spicy side of physical damage.
And
But on Ragnarok, you have conceivably one champion who could build full tank, but you're probably not going to do that because full tank Maokai jungle kind of sucks
that's
because you just can't
true.
clear anymore. Nautilus doesn't really get enough gold to, appreciably build full tank, and there isn't an AD or an armor, sorry, version of Locket. Syndra, if you build Zanya's second item, you are sad. You just don't deal damage anymore. And GP isn't building armor. I mean, maybe he'll build Ninja Tabi, but that
Yeah,
even
true.
so,
But
that
you know the tech that always floats around every couple of seasons that the pros refuse to give up? The frozen
is
heart on
it
Ezreal?
blue build Ezreal?
Blue build Ezreal, baby.
I
It doesn't
oh
help. You've
man.
made a good point with Maokai not being able to build straight tank here as much as he'd want to. The damage spread isn't necessarily as bad as it seems at first glance, but
Yeah.
still could
And
be problematic if Maokai ever gets to the point where he doesn't really need to worry about clearing anymore and can just spec into full armor from there.
yeah, I mean, like, it's not inconceivable for Ezreal to look at his composition and evaluate, okay, I have a Gangplank, I have a Syndra. I'm probably not going to be the one popping off and dealing the most damage. So I can sacrifice damage, just build Essence Reaver, Navori, and Frozen Heart.
Hmm.
Maybe. I don't think that's good because, as much as the Frozen Heart Ezreal of the past was a complete terror that certainly abused more than its fair share of solo queue and pro play victims alike. Ezreal's itemization just doesn't really kind of work like that anymore. You still have that big spike from the Manamune and Frozen Heart, of course, but there's just no real follow-up sustain that you can inject into your build. Like, there's no mythic that synergizes extraordinarily well with this. I mean,
That's
maybe
fair.
you go Frostfire Gauntlet, but then you actually just deal 0 damage, so I don't know. And of course, you have to also contend with the fact that Darius popping off in a fight doesn't really look like him dealing a bunch of physical damage, right? We've all seen it. We know what it looks like. It looks like him getting 5 stacks and then dunking someone and repeating ad infinitum.
That's true.
You know, Jarvan also has the armor shred on the wow, I actually can't remember what his Q is called. Dragon Strike?
Dragon Lance, I
Dragon
think.
Lance? Okay. I was halfway there.
I don't play a lot of
Yasuo
Jarvan.
Yasuo has armor penetration on his ultimate. Once he casts it, I
50% for
believe he
15
gains,
seconds.
and that's only on crits, right? But of course, he's going to have 100%
Yes.
crit, so you
True
know,
on both counts.
Lux actually, Lux actually benefits so much from this being a full AD composition because it's
That's
not like
true.
Lux support isn't going to be building fat damage items. So if this Lux gets a little bit of gold income, it's actually so hard for Ragnarok to play.
Yeah, you've got a good point. It'll be I think I might have oversold the damage spread a little bit. We'll have to see what happens. We're gonna step into spectator delay for just a couple of seconds here, and we will be right back. But this game will be on your dash shortly, so don't go anywhere, folks.
Annie, where are you? I got you, Firefly. I got you.
Shut up! You took everything.
One. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on to the Rift. The teams are ready and loaded in, and as we promised, it was a pretty short break. I'm a little surprised. It doesn't look like Ragnarok's going for an invade with the invade champion.
I
Well, that could be
surprised
problematic.
is a very consistent thing across the board here. I will be honest. I'm surprised that again we have an AFK because I believe that was or wait, was it showing the yeah. Okay, no, we have not an AFK. We have a disconnect and no pause.
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on that because we may be seeing a pause here shortly. There he comes. Fair
Okay, he's
enough.
back.
And looks
All
like
right.
he's moving around, so we will be good to go. No stoppage here. And no fun in the early game. Nautilus invades not happening. Very sad.
Yeah, no fun in the early game. So I want to just rattle through the list of things right now that I feel are a little strange. We have
Okay.
Ezreal with heal instead of cleanse into, you know, arguably maybe you just should never get hit by the light binding, but you're going to eventually. So it's not like it's useless.
Hey, here's that level 1 you wanted. Nub going in, gets the
Oh
trial
my
by fire
gosh.
reset. Shuichu down to half, but Nub is fully stacked. Shuichu down under 100. Nub might actually win this. Fully stacked, flashes away from both. The ghost is popped by Shuichu. And that's going to be it. 150 health for the Darius, 90 health for the Gangplank. What a way to start this lane.
Oh my god.
Hook lands onto Kim here.
Oh.
However, no regard, down under 200 health. Kim not far behind. The Ignite use immediately cleansed away. Yorichi now tanking up, down under 200 health, but no regard, down under 100. Phantom continuing to try and frontline, down under 100 himself. Lands the hook onto Kim, but a flash away over the alcove wall keeps Kim alive. Now no regard in trouble. One last auto attack and a trade. ADC for support. A big win for T3 in the bot lane.
That was very strange that Phantom and No Regard continued to push for that after, a couple of critical Mystic shots just sailing right by the enemies.
Yeah, like, at some point you realize you no longer have the damage for this because you haven't hit your spells, and you give up. Didn't happen, though. Chuichu is only level 1 here. Nub and Atlas are both level 3. This could be very bad for the Darius. Darius down under 300, under 200, stacks the passive, but a Q will secure it, and Nub gets the gold off the kill to add insult to injury. And he's going to crash this entire wave. There's no TP.
Oh, man. Yeah, no teleport for Chuichu. Like you said, ghosted in the trade earlier. This is actually such an advantageous position for Nub. And this is what I was saying earlier is, GP, surprisingly, one of the champions where you can absolutely just trade super hard early and smash the level 1 trade. The passive just does so much damage. He takes the passive trade early, recalls on, gives up a few minions, sure, but teleports back, and now you're hugely advantaged. Oh my gosh, Elliot.
He doesn't even need a TP back. He's just going to walk. GP's just walking back to lane here.
Oh my gosh. Oh wait, he didn't TP back earlier. Wait, what the heck happened? How did he walk back and get level 3 before Chuichu
I don't think
got
he
level
backed.
2?
I think he stayed the entire time. Chuichu backed because that was why he was full health and still level 1. And Atlas immediately chain ganked, and they're going to gank again here. Darius pushing in the wave, has no vision and no idea. Gangplank and Maokai sitting in the wave. Yorichi taking a lot of damage, though. The ADC for Ragnarok not far behind, and Kim is going to pick up the first kill. Now it's just Phantom left, and Phantom taking a lot of poke is forced to just stumble away.
Yeah, a bit of an unfortunate scenario for No Regard and Phantom. I think No Regard maybe needs to cool it a little bit on these arcane shifts. Getting a little bit hypey when you're not quite getting to the damage threshold to secure the kill. I do like that they're still trying to play aggressively, acknowledging that they do have their power points. Just need to temper the expectations a little bit. And
use them where they ought to be used rather than just willy-nilly.
Yeah, like maybe or arcane shifting directly into auto attack range of Caitlyn. Perhaps not that.
Not the best idea in the world. It's similar to Syndra, actually, who we're seeing in the mid lane. If you use that Scatter the Weak too aggressively, it just gives the Yasuo free reign to go in on you. So you have to hold it for when the Yasuo attacks. No Regard has to kind of take some cues from his mid laner and using his spells the same way.
Yeah, and we see Nub setting up a pretty big crash in the top lane, taking advantage of his ability to just chunk down Chewy on the Darius. He has ticked up to 6, has the Cannon Barrage available, so I would actually, you know, having that little bit of extra damage, I'd like to see Phantom and No Regard look for it again, but unfortunately they've put themselves in a wave position where it's actually really hard for them to try and find the engage.
And that damage coming through with the headshot doesn't help either. No Regard down under half just from poke here.
Yeah, down under half. Unfortunately, did not collect a refillable potion on his last death.
Junglers are going to meet here in the top side. Cannon Barrage comes down, but is placed pretty poorly. Chewy with the Ghost trying to run down Atlas here. Will go all the way around. The Apprehend lands. However, the Decimate completely whiffs thanks to the Bramble Smash, and Chewy is going to have to walk away. Ghost isn't the most expensive burn there, but still not something you want to waste for nothing.
Yeah, not something you want to waste for nothing. I think you take it for the trade
Oh,
for Flash.
Atlas. Atlas is going to find him in the bush here. The Bramble Smash goes through. Nub flashing to get the Q, and will it get the kill?
Oh my god.
That was
so unnecessary. I love it, though. It's great. I would not have it any other way.
Abuji going in,
Like we
gets
have to be
hooked
all
under
in.
the turret. Rooted under the turret. Abuji now ignited, forced to flash away.
Yeah, really good heads-up play from Phantom. Just, know that you have the timer, recall, walk mid lane. Oh.
No Regard in trouble now, though. The Light Binding forced to be flashed away from him. That was perhaps the most awkward flash I have ever seen, but it worked. No Regard surviving by the skin of his teeth.
Yeah, but unfortunately he burns double summoners, and we have also double summoners down on the Nautilus, so it's going to be really hard for No Regard and Phantom to crash this wave. This means that Kim Ditcher and Yoriichi-sama can just hold this forever. They can say, you guys want to play? Okay, we'll play, but we'll play right here, right outside our tower range. Come at us. Of course, they are not deciding to do that. The wave is not freezing, in fact.
Did we just watch No Regard walk back into the Lucent Singularity for no reason?
We did do that, yes. It appears that was the case. Oh,
Phantom is very dead here. Did not get the memo that his ADC was going out. Hooked in onto Yoriichi, and Loophole was there to take advantage.
I can't believe that it looked like he was about to just walk out of there if the ult was not dropped by Loophole.
Would have been really funny if he had just been able to walk away.
Nub is playing right on the edge of danger there.
He knows his distances and does not care what Chewy wants to do. Is going to land the barrel. And looking for more here. Chewy down under 500 health. Chewy running out of health real quickly. The parlay is going to come through. The oranges are not going to be enough. Chewy with the Noxian Guillotine. Well, you can play on the edge for only so long before you fall off.
Yeah, unfortunately, play with fire, you get burned. Nub going for that. I think after the second barrel gets tapped by Chewy, you have to respect that you do not have the damage anymore.
I like the aggression, though. You want to push the lead. You want to be up in the Darius's face, making sure that he's not able to get to the point where he can just kind of run through the team and land passive stacks. So I understand the theory, just you gotta be reasonable, and I feel like right now Ragnarok has kind of lost that limiter.
Yeah, Ragnarok definitely pushing the limits in a lot of their decisions so far. Unfortunately, it has cost them a fair bit. We see Nub being ever so slightly ahead in CS. He is up a solid 700 gold because of the kills and the parlay and first strike bonus gold. So you do love to see that, but pan your eyes downwards a little bit. We see a 20 CS deficit in the jungle. Maokai, of course, not necessarily an exceptional power farmer in the early game or any stages of the game.
I'm more concerned with the 10-minute Gale Force.
That's definitely something to be concerned about.
Nub and Chewy fighting once again, but Phantom and Atlas are here. The Nature's Grasp is going to be in the completely wrong direction, but Phantom a little bit more lucky with the Dredge line. Decimate gives a little bit of healing, but it's not going to be enough, and Nub picks up another kill with the help of half his team. Gonna drop the Herald here, actually. Really wanting to accelerate this Gangplank.
Yeah, really want to get the GP, and of course GP was the one himself who had the Herald, so...
Depth Charge coming out here. Are they gonna go on a loophole? This is incorrect. Atlas is dead. Nub not far behind. The Ignite coming down. Phantom is gonna get the kill, but he's gonna die for it. No, forced to use the stopwatch. That was among the strangest dives I've ever seen.
Yeah, it kind of felt like they weren't really all on the same page there. Phantom not wanting in so much, but then Nub and Atlas just going for it anyways. It is the trait of the bot lane tower, though, and now No Regard down already more than 40 CS.
Down 40 CS, but Light Binding hits. That's his death. Yorichi-sama just guesses a little bit wide, though.
Yeah, Yorichi-sama comfortably able to make No Regard unable to play the game at this point.
That was a game of millimeters there for No Regard. The flash forward from Kim Ditcher gets it with the Gale Force. Yorichi is tanking the turret as Kim is 1v1ing Phantom on the inside. Meanwhile, Chuichu getting found in the jungle by Atlas. Atlas will pick that up. Ooh. Kim in the bot lane picks up another for herself. Bloodbath all over the rift. And ooh,
yeah,
that was beautiful. True Shot Barrage does pick up one for No Regard here, getting Yorichi-sama. But Kim able to pick up a second turret. That's a ton of gold in this Caitlyn's pocket. Is going to back with 3,200.
More than the 3,200 gold. What I want to highlight right now is the fact, oh my gosh, Elliot just gets slam dunked. Anyways, more than that, what I want to highlight is the fact that Caitlyn has more than double Ezreal's gold.
Is it that bad?
At 12 or 13 minutes, sorry.
Oof, that is... This is miserable in this bot lane. No Regard having to sub in on a Lark and just paying for it. Hook, line, and sinker here.
Indeed he is. The dredge lines kind of leading them a little astray on this one, I think.
Chuichu not enjoying this fight, though, and Nub gets the kill.
That was clean. That was so clean. He got the double barrel reset on the passive. Gosh, GP's such a dumb champion, all right? He does insane damage. But I love it when I see it played well.
He is beautiful to watch played well as long as he's on your team. Goodbye, No Regard. It was nice knowing you. Well, he survived with 50 health.
Yeah.
He was full health before that, though.
Don't worry about it. He survived. That's all that matters here.
I see. Well, this has turned into a game of map halves. The top half is firmly in favor of Ragnarok, and the bot and mid are solidly in T3's pocket. Nub now forced to run away as Chuichu uses the ghost. Wait, he's actually going to take this fight. Nub going in, has Chuichu under 300 health. However, the Noxian Guillotine not going to be enough. Nub is surviving. Does Nub have enough health? 38 uses the Zanyas to survive. Meanwhile, the dredge line being used. The depth charge as well. Atlas trying to find Yorichi-sama, but Phantom, rather, is already dead. Just disappeared off the face of the planet. And now No Regard in trouble, is going to be forced to Arcane Shift over the wall, and Loophole's actually going to go in here, has the Cataclysm, is going to use it. No Regard is going to disappear, and Loophole took 3 turret shots and did not care.
And this is so sad for No Regard. It's, I think, the second or third time, unfortunately, that we've seen him Arcane Shift out of the way of something, and then immediately walk into something else. It's just the worst feeling ever as an Ezreal. You know, you dodge threat number 1, and then in doing so, you just kind of turn your brain off for a moment.
Yeah, unfortunately, that was
really hard to come back for No Regard into this game, I think.
I don't even know if he wins just off of scaling at this point. I think the Caitlyn is Well, Caitlyn's already at 2 items. Elliot in trouble, forced to go golden here. There are 2 members coming to try and save her. Phantom and Atlas looking for Abuji here. The hook going to be blocked by the wind wall. Can they get anything? Abuji's going to stop and farm here, actually, but it will not matter. Can he find Elliot? Does find one.
God.
The hook lands, but Abuji, just playing games with them, is going to dash and dash away. Nature's Grasp is used. Yoriichi-sama finally here. The team has joined the fight. Abuji does finally fall to the Arcane Shift, but that's going to be No Regard's life on the line once again. TP's coming out from the gangplank, and this is a now inverted team fight. Nub taking a lot of damage, but look at that, 700 with the barrel onto Kim. If anyone's going to turn this fight around, it's going to be Nub. But Phantom is already dead. Nub gets 1 in the Cataclysm, but is trapped. The Gale Force forward, that's a double kill, a triple kill for the Caitlyn. And the 8-0-3 Kate is just too far ahead. This is disgusting. Elliot may find Yoriichi-sama on the backside to get something back. Can he find Kim? Survey says
Elliot
no.
doesn't have unleashed power. This is so rough. Kim had an Infinity Edge already completed at 16 minutes before that fight started.
Yeah, 2.5 items plus boots at 17 minutes is just... should be illegal. It's just so out of reasonable.
Kim does not believe in the power trough. Kim is a firm mid-game spike believer on this Caitlyn. On this day, looks like we're going to see
in a bit of trouble. Chewy falls to Nub, so that's something in their favor. Look at this Yasuo, though. Does not care about his top laner. Is going to be taking the Rift Herald for himself.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, we're seeing the kill score isn't that far apart, but it's still a 6,000 gold lead.
I mean, the kills aren't what matters. It's the 3 turret difference. It's the 2 dragons. It's the fact that No Regard is almost being Flame Horizoned at 17 minutes. Loophole is going to get caught out here. The Gore Drinker keeps him alive for a long time, but Cataclysm is enough to kill No Regard. Loophole might actually get out here. Is trapped in the base right now, but does have the Flag and Drag looking for a way out. The Scatter of the Weak is going to hit, and the shutdown lands for Elliot.
Yeah, I mean, Kim Ditcher's shutdown going on to Elliot is a big plus. You know, that's how you start getting this game back under control. The GP is insane already. He does not need to get that much more gold. You need to start getting the gold onto your secondary carry. Unfortunately, No Regard is just so far behind in this game at this point that it's not going to be No Regard. You know, we're going to be waiting another 15 minutes before we see No Regard be able to deal damage in this game, I think. But Elliot getting gold means that on the off chance that Kim Ditcher gets caught out of position without cleanse, Elliot is going to be able to just toss out the Scatter of the Weak non-committally. If it lands, flash forward, drop the Unleash Power, and boom, guaranteed one-shot.
Yeah, absolutely. Having that assassination potential is huge. However, the problem is there's so many other strong members on the side of T3 right now that it's a little bit hard to get in close enough to even flash forward for the ult. Elliot does get rooted up here. It would be a 4v4, but Darius is roaming up to make it a 5v4 in favor of T3. No fight, but that will be the 3rd dragon secured for T3.
Honestly, I agree with this assessment. I think that if it's a Cloud Dragon, Cloud Soul is not going to be that impactful. The individual Cloud Dragons themselves aren't that great. You know, you're more than happy to just let that team get the Cloud Soul.
Hook lands, Dredge line onto Kim Ditcher. Kim Ditcher is dead. The Lux is dead. It's just Loophole and Abuji left suddenly.
Wow.
Meanwhile, in the bot lane, though, look at Chewy2. Does not care. Split pushing to death here. Has the Herald. They're going to get the mid-outer, but they're going to lose an inhibitor for it.
Honestly, I think it's fine. I think you don't really care about the inhibitor turret. Nub being allowed to farm more, you're perfectly fine with that. In fact, you may welcome it. Oh.
Chewy2 taking a lot of damage, but putting a lot back out. Ooh. Nub is going to win the fight, but does he survive? 29
Oh.
health.
That was close.
That was
very
incredibly
close.
close.
Choo-choo. You
He
know,
puts out numbers.
there's not really anyone else on the team that it would benefit. But you know he's just thinking to himself right now, if I had grievous wounds, this man, he'd be 6 feet under right now.
Hey, it would help with sap magic. The Maokai would not be tanky.
The Maokai's already not tanky. He's got demonic embrace.
Yeah, semantics. You see, as a top laner, sometimes you take the greedy item choices and you back justify them. And it doesn't matter how bad your back justification is. You force it.
See, this is like me trying to justify any of my itemization on an ADC. It's like, you know, I'll back with 450 gold, and it's like, oh, you could, or 500 gold. It's like, oh, you could buy a longsword and a refillable potion. But Cull is just so much shinier, you know? It gives me that nice +1 on every minion kill.
But Zarathai, we're 20 minutes into game.
Well, you wouldn't build Cull now.
I saw some of your BTL games,
15 minutes
Zarathai.
ago. Listen, I cannot be held accountable for my past actions, as I no longer remember them.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Ping's going down onto Baron here. Is this something that T3 can just kind of take here, do you think?
I don't think T3 can actually force this. I think that the Maokai and the Ezreal, while the Ezreal's not going to be dealing a huge amount of damage, but we just saw the True Shot Barrage sailing across the screen. Incredibly non-committal way of checking whether or not the Baron's going down.
Flash forward, lands the hook onto Kim. Depth charge lands onto Yoriichi. Here comes the Nature's Grasp, but it's not going to hit. Elliot now in trouble. The root going in on to Loophole, but Loophole gets one. No regard, very low. No regard's going to be the next to die. Nub is going to pick up the Caitlyn, but it might be too little too late. Nub is dead, and here comes the Yasuo. Picks up one shutdown. It's just Atlas left, and this was a 4v5. Darius was nowhere close to this fight. Can he land the tornado? No, Atlas is going to flash away, but that's a 4 for 2 in the 4v5 with Chuichu split pushing the entire time.
Yeah, unfortunately, this all kind of happened off the back of Phantom really trying to greed for the depth charge. He really wanted to be able to depth charge Yoriichi and get the knockup on Kim Ditcher rather than just take the guaranteed knockup, get the guaranteed pick. I respect him for trying, but boy, oh boy, did it cost them in that scenario.
Ooh, teleport behind from Elliot. They're going to find Chuichu here, gifting that over to Elliot. So not a bloodless escape.
See more gold onto Elliot.
Is sitting at 2 full items now, plus the Seeker's armband. So getting some of that armor that we were talking about earlier. It's not a ton, but any couple of seconds to keep Elliot alive long enough to press R on Kim helps.
Yeah, and you definitely want to be also tracking the difference between, you know, Abuji, who's honestly had a relatively quiet game so far. Oh my gosh.
Pick onto Phantom. Phantom is dead. Atlas is next to fall. Scatter the Weak will keep Elliot alive for now. Cannon Barrage coming down. No Regard is the next target, but the Cataclysm misses No Regard, using the Arcane Shift to get over the wall. But Loophole follows with the Flag and Drag. It's just Nub and Elliot left. But Nub does so much damage. Loophole is going to die here. No, the Gore Drinker keeps him alive for so long. The Syndra is dead. It's just Nub left. It is a 4 for 1 in favor of T3. Can the Gangplank find anything? Can the Gangplank save the soul here? Does have vision over the pit. Using the barrel, looking for it. Barrel gets canceled, and that's going to be the end for Nub. Nothing he can do. Does have another barrel. Dragon is so low, but it's not enough. Red team secures the soul. The highest win rate soul in the game is theirs. And we now have 6 minutes until the Elder Drake.
Highest win rate?
It is. If you take the Cloud Soul, that is the highest out of all of the souls, Cloud Soul gives you the highest percentage chance of winning the game overall out of any of the souls.
Crazy. I would have expected that to be Mountain or Hextech.
Nope, it's Cloud Soul.
Huh. Weird. Well, maybe pro teams are all wrong in giving the Cloud Soul and trying to flip Elder.
Ghost here used by Chewy onto No Regard.
Oh,
Chewy is
no.
just fearless going in on anything. No Regard might be dead here, but Chewy first to fall. And actually, No Regard got out alive. Loophole now looking for something, is going to be forced to back away. But Baron is the ping.
Yeah, they can just go on the Baron. It feels like all of Ragnarok is incredibly low. You see the Gangplank bot lane.
Cannon Barrage is used
Right.
TP by the Gangplank, looking for it
stay on
now.
the Baron. Kim, what
Kim's
the
gonna
heck?
die. Kim dies to Nub with the Cannon Barrage.
What?
Elliot being ulted on by 2 is forced to go golden. Here comes Nub. Abuji picks up 1.
Why?
2 are dead, 3 are dead, but the Gangplank is
Woo!
doing so much work. Nub picks up a triple kill.
Oh
Is
my gosh!
massive. 15-3-3. The weight of the world on Gangplank's shoulders, and he can bear it. Call him Atlas. Take the name away from the jungler.
Yeah, I mean, holy cow. We just saw, honestly, the strangest of starts to a fight. I mean, Kim dying in the Baron pit there. I feel like I just got hit in the head by something.
Straight out of Wood Division.
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely a salty Teemo level play. But on the plus side, Nub just popped off incredibly. Nub is sitting on 2,300 gold in pocket right now. Gonna spend it on, I mean, who knows? It's too little for a full item, too much for just a component. Maybe a crit cloak? A crit cloak and a dream, also known as an elixir.
Yeah, let's take a look here at that Gangplank. How much crit chance does he have? 95%,
95.
ladies and gentlemen.
Oh,
That's a lot of
Elliot.
crit chance. Elliot in trouble, uses the Unleashed Power onto Chewy, but the Noxian Guillotine comes out. Chewy
what?
secures the kill. No Regard moving forward, trying to find damage onto Kim, who is very low. And Nub deletes the Darius. However, the Baron call is made. There's no TP on the Gangplank. There's no Cannon Barrage. The
Kim
True
is
Shot
so
Barrage
low
does
again.
come out. Kim is very, very low. There is a Nature's Grasp available. Atlas looking for the angle, but it will not be in time. The Baron goes down. And now Atlas on the wrong side of this fight has to sprint for his life, run for the hills.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually just incredibly confused about how Elliot died. Elliot has flash up. As far as I saw, did not use Scatter the Weak at all.
You Scatter the Weak very early in the fight.
So, I don't know. Like, it's just very unfortunate.
At
Oh
the
my
end of the day,
gosh.
the weight of this game really rests on Nub, though. If Nub can't find a huge barrel chain to end this game, then I don't see a way for Rag to take this to a third game.
Yeah, I mean, like, unfortunately, one of the issues with if Nub doesn't find the barrel chain thing is that eventually Nub is going to make a mistake. You know, Nub is a human, allegedly, just like the rest of us.
Nub is taking
And
a lot of
here's the
damage from
mistake.
Kim here. Chewy is the first to die,
Right.
but the Gangplank is dead.
Oh.
The final spark takes him out. No Regard now left to do the damage. Loophole tanking up so much. The Flag and Drag knocks onto 3. Syndra and Nautilus are dead. It's just No Regard and Atlas left. Their health bars are so low. They are blinking red. The flash forward from Loophole. He flashed the wrong way there. That is unfortunate. Failed the Flag, Drag, and Flash. But it's just Atlas and No Regard. The waves are pouring in. This is their last chance to save this game, and Abuji wants to end it here. Maokai is down. It's just No Regard
Yeah.
left. It is 15 seconds still. Phantom comes back up, and they will not find it. The game is over, the series is over, and T3 certainly stamping their way to the top.
Yeah, top three definitely doing their darndest to cement themselves in that position. I would like to see them maybe play a little more level-headedly, but it certainly worked to their advantage playing like a just a completely insane tempo game against the side of Ragnarok.
Yeah, they matched Ragnarok's tempo. They took advantage of Ragnarok's many aggressive mistakes, and they just kept pushing forward. On the other side of the coin, for Ragnarok, they have the pieces to be a good team there. Nub popping off like that, if you can build a team that isn't putting him down 35 kills to 28 despite being 16-4, if you can just sit back and let yourself be carried by performances like that from Nub, this team could absolutely compete at the top of OCL. They just have to calm down and
Absolutely.
let the game play itself.
Yes, I mean, I do want to give the special consideration asterisk that, unfortunately, like we said earlier, uh, I can't even remember who it was.
You wrong me right.
Wrong me right. Got banned after the draft in the middle of client draft. So we've had No Regard, who, in spite of his best efforts, did not put up the greatest showing in his first game on the Optimal Championship League stage. I respect the effort, right? He
Yeah,
tried.
absolutely.
That's what counts. I think that probably has a lot to do with why maybe all of the weight was on Nub's shoulders.
Certainly, and that does need to be taken into consideration, but that doesn't excuse the overaggression from Phantom. That doesn't excuse the getting caught out from Elliot and Atlas in those last few fights. Like, sure,
But
maybe You Wrong Me
similarly,
Right
it
was
was
the top
Nub that
color,
got
but
caught in the very last fight.
yeah, exactly. Nub getting
So
deleted by Kim and Yorichi, just you end the game there. There's nothing you can do.
yeah, I'd like to see the side of Ragnarok Esports sort of go back to the drawing board when they go to their next scrim set. Really try and work on, finding what kind of compositions really work for you, practicing those, and really paying attention to and practicing your early game pacing, making sure you're able to grab control of the game and not let the opponents just do whatever it is they want to do.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And if they can do that,
Other than that, though, yeah, if they could do that, they would easily be one of the top teams here.
yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it. I would like to see a Ragnarok team that is competitive, that lets Nub continue to play like this and pop off without having to have the entire game be his to command.
Yeah, and of course, top three also, you know, in spite of how accelerated and relatively messy of a game it was, of course, Chewy Chew having probably the worst game that we've seen so far for an individual player, but still finding a lot of pressure later on, or the worst early game, I should say,
Yeah, that's a little bit more fair to him.
and still finding a lot of pressure later on in the game. I think, I think this team's going to be a lot of fun to watch later on.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing more of Kim. I think Kim Ditcher has done a good job in this bot lane, was on the Caitlyn both games, and played it quite well, I thought. Had a little bit of trouble early on in game one, did die a couple of times, and then just turned on the afterjets, and this game it was much the same, Had the early fight that they won because Phantom and No Regard just wanted to keep going in after missing all their damage, and was able to snowball the lead very handily from there. So I think they're going to be very fun to watch in the future.
Yeah, of course. Unfortunately, I think that's all we have for now. That's everything I've got to say. Thank you
Yeah,
for
I've
having
got
me.
I've got nothing more except to say that we are going to be back again tomorrow night. That's right. If you'd like to see more OCL on this channel with me and Nyarko tomorrow, we will be streaming Sanitarium up against Flash Abusers at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go ahead and put that on your calendar so you can be here the moment that starts. That being said, I have
Definitely
been
don't miss it.
Yeah, it'll be fun. We've had a lot of fun games so far at OCL. Every game that we've streamed has been a banger on every level.
Definitely on every level.
That being said, I have been Aulz, for myself, for Zarathai, for everyone here at the OCL team. Thank you all for coming out. Thank you for playing in this league. Thank you for supporting us as we bring you the best content we can. We will see you all next time. Good night, everybody.